Thalange, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur, Maharashtra. In today's session, we are going to see regarding the inventory and inventory control. At the end of the session, the observer will be able to understand inventory and the inventory control, along with the functions of inventory control and its importance. Finally, to have the control, we have to know the quantity standard tools to have the inventory control that we are going to see. Now, what are the inventories? Inventory consists of raw material. I will say the semi-finished raw material also. Stores, spares, packing materials, fuel or the energy sources, petroleum products, material, finished products which are going to be stored in the overall the godown or the storage place, which are finally they are in terms of quantity as well as they are termed into the money values. That's why the importance of the inventory and its inventory control is much more important to have the overall wastage of the overall resource, and which will increase the profit margin, or you can say the saving of amount, which will have the contribution towards the profit margin of the company or the organization. Now, inventory control. The inventory control is consist of to purchase, to make a stock in the store, and to handle and use of the inventory as per the requirement, or you can say need, with the overall required quantity. There should not be the breakdown. That's why there should be the overall proper record of the inventories which are required for the overall organization, or you can say a company. To have the overall the economy means what? To have to avoid the wastage of the resource, which will have the overall the contribution to the organization profit. And finally, the intention is what, as I said, the minimizing of the wastage and the loss. It will help us to the overall company to save the amount, or you can say money. The classification of the inventories. The classifications are been done on based on two criteria, that are the direct inventories and the indirect inventories. The direct inventories are those which are directly related to the overall the product. For example, if I tell you the inventory like the raw material for the manufacturing of the cement, they are the directly related to the cement product or cement output, which is a finished product which is required for the concrete purpose. So here the direct inventories are as follow, that are what? The raw material. These are the overall the base, or you can say the basic material which are required for the finished product. So the company use this raw material for the manufacturing of the finished product. When the material is in the process, that is called as the in-process inventories. That are what? The whatever the raw material is required for the overall manufacturing of brick or the cement, that when they are in the process in between the manufacturing of this powder form of the cement, they are in the overall the semi-finished goods, or you can say semi-finished inventories. We can say the overall finished product is what? It is the overall the output of the overall the raw material which has been given at the initial stage, and this is the overall finished product which now it is been going to be used by the customer or the users. So here the overall the part comes regarding the raw material, in which is called as the initial stage of the overall the finished product, and in progress inventories which are at the mid or the in between the finished product, and finally the finished product which can be used by the users. Now coming to the indirect inventories are what? Required. For example, the petroleum products or the overall the consumable materials which are required for the conversion from the raw material to the finished product. They have their importance role in the overall the manufacturing of the product or the end stage of the finished product, but they are not directly related to the overall the finished product. That such kind of inventories are the indirect inventories. The quantity standards tools to the inventory control. What is this? This is a tool which will help us to make the overall study regarding what exactly what the observation has to be done by the team regarding the availability of the inventory, so that the availability will help us to continuously the flow of the raw material or the semi finished material, so that there should not be any stoppage or the cut down in the manufacturing process. And they will have the observations. What tools they exactly observe? What are the tools? First, the maximum stock is nothing else. When we observe this figure here, the maximum stock is nothing else. It's overall the upper limit of the inventory in the form of the quantity which should be with the company. For that, they should have the daily or the periodical consumption of the raw material to get down the knowledge regarding the minimum stock requirement also. So here the quantity, in short I will say the maximum stock is nothing else, it's a maximum or the largest quantity which should be with them, with the company. And what is the minimum stock? The minimum stock is nothing else, it's the lowest level of the inventory which should be with the company, so that even though if there is a delay in the supply of the overall the material which is required for the continuous process of the manufacturing, so there should not be any stopping or the cut downing of the manufacturing process. So here it's a minimum level, it should be with the company for the safer side. That's why when we see the overall the point, okay, we have to see exactly what is the a minimum level it should be with the company, so that the overall the process should be in the running form. Now the standard order is what? It's a quantity to be purchased at any time or whenever we require. Next comes the reordering point. The reordering point is nothing else, it's the particularly presentation of what? It's a time at which we have to go for the placing of the procurement order of the material, or you can say purchasing of the material. And the lead time is nothing else, or you can say procurement time is nothing else, it's a time which takes from the overall the reordering point till the minimum stock of the material. Now these are the calculations, or you can say formulas to calculate the reordering level. Here you are observing that the reorder level is nothing else, it's a lead time multiplied by average consumption. As I said, the average consumption or the periodical consumption that has to be seen by the overall the manufacturing process line, plus the reserved stock. The maximum level is nothing else, it's equal to the reserved stock plus reordering quantity plus users quantity between the maximum stock to the reorder level. And the minimum level is nothing else, it is equal to reserved stock. And the average level is nothing else, it's a average of what? The maximum level plus minimum level by 2. So these are the overall formulas which can be used for the calculation of the various terms like reorder level, maximum level, minimum level, as well as average level. So these are the references for the today's session. Thank you.